Friends, we love to tell stories here at The Well. It's something that we do every single week just to remind ourselves of how faithful our God has been. So tonight, I would love to welcome Ethan to the stage to tell his story.
I was going to just wing it, but I was advised to write it down. First of all, I want to say I'm very fortunate to be given the opportunity to share just a snippet of my testimony to y'all. I just pray that the Lord could use me as a vessel for Him by seeing how much He has transformed my life. I'm going to jump around a little bit, so bear with me. I have 3 siblings, and I grew up in a multicultural family, my mom being born and raised in Korea, and my dad in Michigan. My mom didn't grow up with any faith and was an orphan, and she had a very unique childhood. My dad, who was very instrumental in my faith, grew up going to church in his young adult life, grew to have an amazing relationship with Jesus. The reason I mention this is because it had a big impact on how I was raised. It came with many difficulties and family dynamics, not being equally yoked, cultural differences, and my mom just not knowing what being a good mother looked like. Could see it affecting my siblings, specifically my sister, who had fallen into depression and later having suicidal thoughts. Seeing the difficulties in my family, I feel like I tried really hard to never make any trouble, and on the outside appeared to be a very good kid. About my personal faith, I grew up going to a Korean American church to make the adjustment easier for my mom, and just became very involved with small groups, church events, and camps, where I got to know a lot about Jesus. And even so I feel like I grew a lot in my faith by spending a lot of time with my dad. I played hockey all growing up, and because of it, was always traveling to tournaments with my dad for hours, listening to sermons, Christian music, and having great conversations where I'd ask questions about the Bible and learn more about the importance of not just having the knowledge, but the personal relationship with Him. Wherever I went for tournaments, we would always find a local church to attend to, and it was just so great growing up and seeing how important my dad's faith was to him. Seeing people around me that were living for God and seeing people that were living for the world, I felt like I was making the right decisions, but with that came a lot of pride. I struggled a lot with pride in myself, feeling like I wasn't doing anything bad, and began putting my desires first. Through COVID and after getting more separate from the church I grew up with in the community that I had, I began to compromise my faith in areas of my life and ignoring convictions, trying to do things out of my own strength. And with that, feeling shame and growing away from my relationship with God. When I came to college, I was so fortunate to find an amazing community where I met so many amazing people here at CM and grew in relationship with them. There wasn't any recollection of a single moment I had met Him, but me seeing His hand on my entire life in faith over the years and working to transform me in who I am today. He has transformed me by showing the importance of a relationship with Him, growing in obedience and discipline. I really know who He is by growing closer to Him and His will. Seeing my mom and my sister and how their lives were transformed by His love. My mom being such an amazing believer, being so faithful, and my sister who's no longer suicidal and depressed, chasing after the Lord and now attending a Christian college. Knowing that in Christ you get a new life, and it's a daily battle to pick up your cross. And I can't do it on my own strength. This is why I worship.